strong.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel for another cryptocurrency live stream. All right, so we're going to have an AMA in the Fortune Hunters, and there we go. It's live, so guys, stay tuned.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's well, and you can all hear my mic okay if you let me know in the chat.
All right, so let's just give a couple of minutes, then we can get started, guys. Excited for the AMA, so many things happening.
Yeah, get a few more minutes for everyone to join in, and then we'll get recording and get cracking on with the AMA. Hope everyone's well.
Yeah, doing great. Hope you all too, Craig.
Yeah, a little tired. Never had no sleep last night, and we're at work as well this morning, as well as taking my mum and stepdad to airport at 4 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, good to hear.
Right, so let's start with the recording. Yeah, so welcome all new members. See a lot of new members that joined last night have joined the AMA again as well today. So that's amazing. And that's why I said I'd rather you listen to what we are about, how we were basically founded in the first place, and understand the process of the platforms, and not just the platforms, the full ecosystem and how it's run around each other. Before even thinking about investing, you must research, and that's where we do the regular AMAs so that new investors can hear the way we actually run the protocol and the whole ecosystem. So basically, we are Fortune Hunters. We founded basically 9 months ago, just short of 9 months ago. And it all started because of rug projects, which we are going through at the moment. We, as influencers and people that have been in DeFi a long, long time, count this season as rug season. Loads of projects, just rug after rug after rug. And it's imperative you need to do research. Influencers will tell you anything they want to get referrals, which you'll find like all of the team members that are YouTubers don't even do referrals. They just shove a link out. Yeah, we have 2% on the Farm of Fortune, but it's 2%. It's not going to drain a contract. It's not going to do anything. And as we have shown, we are 37 or 38 days into the contract. And in fact, we're 37 days into the contract, and it's not even dented the contract. And as you heard on the last AMA, we are at the moment 2x of your initial only, not the reinvestments of the initial only. We are working on the reinvestments at the moment, and then we'll start working on the 3x of your initial and then the 3x of your reinvestments. It is a long process. We all knew about this in the first hole. We have over 258 in the balance, so we are still around 3.5 weeks to 4 weeks before we need to make an injection into contract, which is brilliant, absolutely amazing stuff, because that gives us that chance for compounding. And I will be sharing this screen with you in a second for the Grizzly Finance, so you can see that for yourself, because I've had a lot of questions in here. Do we get to see where the money is going and everything else? The bots, like I say, the bots will run every now and again. It's not a massive thing. We only use marketing money there. It's not anything to do with the project's money. It's just marketing. Rather than marketing funds being stood there doing nothing at all, we'd rather put them at use. And earn you what, $3 or $4 a day. There was one day last week, Matic had a massive pump, and then it had a little tiny dump, and I literally ended the trade straight away. Yes, I do the trades differently. I don't do it trades with bots like everyone else where they use grid bots. I watch the trades, and if them trades are pumping, and I do make a few grid sales as well. But if it starts to dump, I'm exiting out of that straight away. I've made $100. I'm going to take that $100 and put it back into the platform. Keep using the marketing funds to earn even more interest going back into the platform. Yes, we do have losses. I absolutely pat myself, like you all know. As soon as it goes to less than $1 loss in the red, I'll end the trade straight away. Find another one. Or if there's nothing going good, I'll leave it for that day. Got to keep a clear head. We've got to keep everything straight and make sure we are earning rather than losing. But the bots is not a massive thing. It's nothing what the project was built on. It's just something extra we've added in to gain a bit extra from the marketing rather than it stood there. We do have a giveaway for all the investors from the last month, which is from the 17th of October to the 17th of November. It will end at midnight tonight. We will go through all the deposits and investments through the last month tomorrow and do the giveaway of 200 BUSD. It will be directly deposited into your wallet. We will then post it in here and the announcement channel. So please make sure you are in the announcement channel. It is a lot easier to find things in the announcement channel. It's not crazy. As you all know, this chat goes absolutely mental. The community is community driven. It is a truly community driven project where the community has the majority of the say. But if the say involves harming any of the project, I will be honest with you and I'll say, look, I had one about the UI last week and we went over it in the AMA. The UI, if you want a new UI, it will take 4 days away of me trying to do compounding. And George will agree here, it's not a literal 2-second job to change a whole UI. It takes days. It's not 2 seconds. And that means we're losing days compounding and earning interest. So, like we said, we will get round to the UI, but when we're comfortable 3x to 4x, then we'll think about it and we'll get it done. In the meantime, the main thing we should be worrying about is making sure we're earning you that interest and earning you that 4x. And we're just over a month and we've managed to compound as much. But like you all heard that day, we had that massive pump with BNB. And at the top, I didn't tell anyone. I waited and saw that slight decrease. So I changed it to BUSD. It dropped down to 332. I thought that was going to be the bottom. And I swapped back to BNB. I could have made more and left it, but I wasn't going to risk it because if it started to climb back up, it was going to make a loss again, and I didn't want that. We made roughly about $20K dollars that day, changing from BNB to BUSD and then back to BNB. And that was including the slippage costs where you lose a little bit of BNB. And when you're doing 491 BNB changing to BUSD, it's around 0.2 in slippage that we lost, but we gained it back anyway with the changing it. I haven't done anything like that at the moment, and market is really bad. We could have got it down to 270 that night, but like I say, and you all know, I need to be at my computer at that time, and we all do have lives, and there's only so much we can do. And when I'm back, I'm literally suicide compounding with everything and going through the bots, see if there's any trades, coming through into chat, answering any questions that's needing answering. There was a question today, but I will go through it in the AMA so everyone can hear. And one thing we will be covering, which we'll be showing you in the screen share, which is degrees of finance and everything else. So, and if you do want to see anything, you just have to type update in the chat and it will bring up the Google Sheet, which is regularly updated. It got updated today with the bot trades, which was none yesterday. I haven't done any yet today. Been mad busy at work, and a lot of you know I never slept at all last night. I was doing a lot of things elsewhere. So yeah, let me just see if there is anything. I was wondering. Yeah. Cake of Fortune is a massive success. It was only done as a test, and it was a test that I started with basically George, and I said, do you reckon it'll work? And George says, well, build it. And that's why I did it. And George helped with the coding and everything else, which wasn't a massive amount of coding that needed changing, because it was basically forked off of the original BNB miner, which has been going for 608 days. The difference is we use syrup pools. The one thing we didn't change was the dev fees. So that's why we are not a 0% Ponzi there. We are reduced Ponzi, which everyone who was in before 2 weeks ago, when it started pumping like crazy again, had ROI'd and made a profit. I think there were like literally 2 or 3 people that didn't, and the team. But the team, but it's still a massive help though, George. That's the thing. We all work as part of a team, and that's the one thing we can say is we are a full team and we all work massively. As most of you are aware, George, this is the first time you've probably seen George in AMA. A few of you have seen him before, but George is massively busy. Remember, he's got George, well, it's the Stamp now. It's not actually George Stamp, it's the Stamp auditing company. He's got his own DeFi ecosystem, which has got the BUSD machine, which is the one we promote on the website. And that's why we have the banners on the website. Some have already mentioned the banners are a bit like dull, but the trusted projects, and we only promote the trusted projects on the websites. And BUSD machine does get an injection from the Farm of Fortune, but the simple fact is it is George's project, and we basically said thank you for letting me try this out with Farm of Fortune to see if we could build something different than a miner. We basically had succeeded with the miners on bringing them to 0% or reduced percent Ponzi. The next one was the farm. I wanted to try a farm. I wanted to try something different that had never, ever, ever been tried. And we are succeeding. We really are. The team is doing massively. You don't see me as active in chat, but the whole team is just jumping in there. And if the team don't even have to answer a question, because the community answer. And that's where you know you've got a good community. When a community has listened to every AMA, they've took everything on board, and they can answer any question that is being put out in the chat. And that is any question, no matter how difficult it can be. They've listened, took everything in, and they've answered every single little thing. And that is a massive, major achievement that we've built in here. When we was in Cake of Fortune, there was only literally 200 members in the Fortune Hunters group. We had a maximum of $8,000 in cake in the contract, and it lasted 6 months before we got any people deciding that they wanted to join it. And when people joined it, there was still $6,000 in it, and that's 6 months after. So that tells you exactly what the rehypothecation or mirror pools or syrup pools, as we call them as well, does do as the injections back into the contracts. It does help a hell of a lot. There's no late entry point. You don't have to worry again going into a miner thinking that you're the late person getting in the miner, because this benefits everyone. Yes, it's going to benefit those that were in first because they're still continuous to get in. They've already claimed so much before you've joined in. But at least you're not going to walk away saying, well, I haven't ROI'd, I haven't got my money back, and I haven't earned a passive income. DeFi is all about a passive income. It's not about getting rich quick. It's not about tomorrow I'm going to be a millionaire. No one should ever tell you that in crypto. It's never going to happen. No way in hell, unless Bitcoin, you've decided to buy a couple of Bitcoin and it pumps to 70K tomorrow. Then maybe. But I ain't got that kind of money lying around just to go and buy a couple of Bitcoin. And with the way Bitcoin's going at the moment, it keeps going downhill. So it wouldn't be a very good idea. So we are in a bad market at the moment. Everything is dumping. But Fortune Hunters is pumping in every single way possible. Every project is pumping. The Elk of Fortune has basically doubled what was in there in the first place when we first brought Elk Fortune out. The minute we announced that was a 0% Ponzi, I was a little worried to see if it would come out of the 0% Ponzi, but at this precise time, it hasn't come out of the 0% Ponzi. So we're still earning more in interest than what's actually being taken out each week from the contract. And that will continuously keep doing it. So everyone that was in there before will now start seeing an increase in their daily percentage because there's more going back into the contract. Your percentage where it was 3.3 because it's variable, because it's a minor. Every minor is variable, remember that. So you'd seen it going down to like 1%, or some people even got to 0.5%, depending on the way you play your game, whether you're taking more out than you're actually compounding. But now you'll start seeing it gradually start building back up to 3%. And that'll be for everyone. So basically, we've built a miner that is now actually going to start being more of a yield farm, except for you can't unstake your initial. And that's the only difference with all of these platforms we do. We don't make them into an unstake of the initial, because then we could not do what we wanted to do. Because normally on a farm, you get roughly to 90 days. And, well, the lowest plan, should I say. That's why you see difference in plans. And where normally plan 3 is the highest percent and plan 1 is the lowest percent. We've done it differently. We've changed things around. We've basically turned it all back on itself. So you're getting more from plan 1 because you're in there a longer time, but it's a higher percentage. Whereas normally it'd be 2% on plan 1 for 200 days, you get 400% ROI. Plan 2 is normally about 6%, and plan 3 is normally about 8%. Some really stupid APRs that you get. They don't work. There's nothing, I would say personally, and I may be wrong, anything above 5-6% daily is not achievable. It's not sustainable. Even with getting an outsource of income, it's still not sustainable. That's why we do go for the lower percentage, and that's why we don't get a lot of attraction, because we're a low percentage daily, but it's more sustainable. We can build on that sustainability and build it so it can last forever, whether it's the farm, whether it's the miners. I've had many questions saying, well, how long will the farm last? That all depends on the community. How long until you get bored of investing? That's the thing. Because if you keep investing, the platform will keep going on forever and ever and ever. I can't stop it. It's immutable. I can't turn it off. I can't pause it. I cannot withdraw any funds from it. It is locked. That is it. It's all clear as day. We don't agree. None of the team agree with being able to have any access to the funds within the contract, except for what is stated in the contract. Like in Farm of Fortune, we state that we can take 50% of the yard deposit. It doesn't affect any of the display. So if you deposit 1 BNB, your display will say you're earning interest off of 1 BNB. You'll see the contract balance increase by 0.5 BNB. 0.5 BNB will go to my ledger, which will then go into the Grizzly Finance, and then we'll be earning compound interest daily there. And the compound interest I can do 2 or 3 times a day, because the faster I can compound it, the more interest it's going to occur, which you'll see in just a second. And you can basically go over it with the Google Sheets, where it'll show you each and every day which has been increased. And I have sent screenshots every day. I did say I wanted to slow down a little bit with the screenshots because there are people that are trying to copy us at the moment. And it is very dangerous. And that's where we're saying, be careful what you're investing in, because I'm not saying trust me. I'm not saying that at all. I've got to basically earn your trust. And that's why I like to do the regular AMAs, to do the Google Sheets so you can see everything, tell you about the trades. If I made a loss, I'll tell you about the loss. If I made a profit, I'll tell you about the profit. And that's where I see as I'm going to be gaining your trust, so you can see the transparency within the whole team, not just myself. Everyone in the team are fully transparent. If there's anything wrong, we'd tell you. If there is a point where we say, look, you're 2x already, and say in 70 days time we can see this contract going to 0, we would tell you, It's going to go to that. So don't bother reinvesting 50%. Start taking everything. At least you're going to get that full 70 days of that full amount, which your ROI in 55 days. So you're already making that extra little bit, as well as the reinvestment interest too. So we would be completely honest with you. We'd tell you exactly where we are. We are constantly checking up on this daily. Once Nelson is fully better, he will help me get a sheet done, which will tell you exactly how much has been taken out of the contract balance, how much has been deposited, because where it says invested, you've got to remember people have withdrawn already from that investment. So even though it says at this precise moment 1,892 BNB, people have already took basically 50% of what they've already took and reinvested 50%. So half of that is basically already been taken out of the contract. But as you've seen on my last AMA, because we did the video last AMA, there's a 1,000 BNB just in Grizzly. That's just in Grizzly, and we've got 4 pools in total. There's only 17.5K, which is in Pancake Swap, and 27.5K in other pools as well. And then we've got the bots running with the interest there as well, which is over, at the moment, still only over $700 interest. We will work on that. But like I say, the bots is not a massive thing. We're not counting on anything from the bots. We're just making the slight increasements each and every time we use them. And I'm going to be helping the team members as well, because they want to learn how to do it. And how people have been telling some of the team members to do it is where some other projects lose. And that's why I do things differently. I don't count it as a bot. I count it as Pancake Swap without the slippage, because you don't have fees for using bots. So if you're using fees, if you're using a bot, you don't get the slippage cost, you don't get the gas fees, you don't get everything else. It's just basically you start that bot, when you're in profit, you take it. There's a slight fee when you take the profit, which is literally like 0.001%. It's basically nothing, depending on how much you actually take out, obviously. But when you're in profit, you're in profit. And you don't have that slippage cost like using Pancake Swap. So I do things a lot differently with the bots. So let me just scroll down and see if there's any questions. Yeah, the first 20 members were amazing. And they basically followed me, and George helped when I first started. When I first started, there was only myself, and then I built the team up, and we built the team up. Each and every project, we did need more and more of a team. We've got 8 members of the team at the moment, and the team is absolutely amazing. It is one of the, I'd say, one of the strongest teams in the whole of DeFi space. And I say one of, because there is many others that are trustworthy as well. So there is many other things. And like I say, there's Richie, who is a collab partnership, and that's for the Man Machine. He uses syrup pools as well, and he does the exact same as me. Shows with the syrup pools, it shows where investments has gone. Just give me a sec. Just give me 1 second. Kids are basically killing each other. Apologies for that. Teenagers. Oh my god. So yeah. We do. Let me just scroll down and see if there's any more. How close are we to make Farmer Fortune a 0% Ponzi? The answer to that is 200 days. on a farm, you can't say you're a 0% Ponzi until you're an actual 0% Ponzi, which is the full longest day plan, which is the 200 days. We have to make it to 200 days before we can say a farm is a 0% Ponzi. A miner, you can say, is a 0% Ponzi when there's more going back into a contract rather than being taken out. That is different because the percentage is variable. So yeah, 200 days is when we can say it is a 0% Ponzi, but until the 200 days, we can't. Even though we know it may be, we can't actually officially say it's a 0% until 200 days. I've said this many a times. I don't want to be president. Let me scroll down. There's been 62 messages. Yeah, so doing some research. I think that's Mark. Let me just check on name. Will Mundo. So number one, basically, the place to follow, see results on a daily basis. It's all the sheets. So yeah, the sheets is there. We do show screenshots. You can go through the files. There's the files there. There's the AMAs there where we show on videos. Normally we show Grizzly on just a Sunday, but I do want to go over it today. We is on the screen share as well, so you can all see it through the screen share because there are new members, so we can show there. How do you take into account the value fluctuation of BNB? The value fluctuation of BNB is because I'm in a BNB USDT syrup pool. So there is basically, if there's impermanent loss, is because BNB's dropped. So if there's BNB gains, you've got that gain. So it works both ways because USDT is a stable coin, and that's why I went into that pool. Not only because it's the highest APY as well. So if BNB suddenly rises 50%, you're all buzzing because that $500,000 project becomes $1 million project. So yeah. If we was trading USDT and BNB rose 50%, we would lose. And that's why I do pools that are BNB majority. Now, am I right to see that you need 14% of BNB invested in the contract balance per week to be paid out? No, it's 10% of the contract balance. And if you go through all of the analytics, basically 53% Nelson, I think, Dark Side, I think you got that one last night. 53% of people are compounding back into the contract. So 53%. So it's basically 5% that's coming out each and every week of the contract balance. But with new investments, that's why it don't drop that very much on the balance side. So like I say, the last AMA, there was 270 BNB, 269 BNB, sorry. And today we're on 258 and it's nearly a week after. So that shows you exactly the droppage of the balance. But where we're saying we've got about 4 weeks is we're going by the 50% of reinvestments and also not including any new investments that come into the platform. So each and every day, we are roughly averaging, we did jump up to about 100 BNB a day. We're roughly averaging about 50 to 55 BNB every day going into the contract now. Once we reach about 2K, you probably see a massive parabolic jump again, possibly, not guaranteed. Remember, marketing has all been for free. Every single YouTuber has done a video for free in this project. Nobody has been paid, all for the videos. The only time there was a payment was when we had a poll saying who was the best video and the one BNB. But we also gave 0.5 BNB for the second person who won as well, which we didn't announce. We didn't say we was doing 2 giveaways. We just decided that it would be fair to do 2 giveaways because it was a very close contest. There was like literally 2% in it between both of the winners. So we said, fair enough, one get 1 BNB, one get 0.5 BNB. And that's where the marketing money is going for at the moment. We're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to be doing a lot of things as well. We've got a few AMAs coming up. We're one with Dan, Crypto Dan, on Monday. And we'll be doing a giveaway in the community just after that as well. We're not sure how we're going to do the giveaway yet, but we've got a few BNB that we can give away because we don't really need it for the marketing at the moment. There's new investors coming every single day. Until we need that marketing, we may as well give it back to the community and the investors that are here. So you could end up with some BNB back just by investing into the platform and being involved in the community. So, but the giveaways, we are going to split it rather than just having 1 or 2 winners. We're going to do it so that there's going to be like 5 or 6 winners at a time rather than 1 or 2, because 1 or 2, the odds are really short when you've got 797 members in the group. So if we split it to say 5 or 6 members, at least there's going to be a more chance of actually being involved in the giveaways. Nobody can predict how the price will be in 6 months, but like I say, with it being in a BNB USDT pool, it doesn't affect the project one bit. So if BNB price increases, so does the pool, which I was on a live video the last time, and BNB dropped like $1, and you saw it drop on the Grizzly Finance, but then it rose back up $1 and you saw it rise back up. So it does drop and it does rise back up, but that's because it's the BNB pool. I will get that down on these sheets as well for the Cake of Fortune and Alka Fortune pools, for the total amount what's in the syrup pools there. So I'll put everything in that Google sheet and get everything done that way. Massive gains in bear market. Just had someone asking me in DMs if someone were in, and for some reason yes, like I say, if not that I ever would, fingers crossed, touch wood, if anything bad happened today in Farmer Fortune and we decided that we couldn't continue no longer, and what you got to think of, we got all that BNB in the syrup pools. That BNB is not in the contract, so there's no way of having to wait for it to come back. It's in our hands. We can take it out of the syrup pools at any time. Another question that came a few weeks ago, and it would be nice for the new listeners to hear this. This is where a lot of trust comes into it. I'm the one that holds the key to the wallet. I'm the one that holds the ledger. I'm the one that does all the compounding in the syrup pools. Somebody asked, is there any way I could transfer them funds to my own wallet? Yes, there is. And this is where transparency comes to it, because I have control of them funds. Them funds are not in a contract. They're only in a syrup pool, which is Grizzly Finance, Pancake Swap. We've got some in Phantom Life. So yeah, I do have control of them funds. I can send them to my own wallet. Would I do this? No, because this has been the biggest dream from 9 months ago. And we originally only became fortune hunters to make it a reduced Ponzi ecosystem. So we thought eventually some projects will die off, but each and every day that's passing, the projects are getting stronger and stronger and stronger to the point of, will they ever die off? And that's where we're looking at now, and we're hoping they don't die off. And with all the interest keep going in, they won't ever die off, because Alka Fortune can't die off because there's more interest going into the pools. Unless somebody puts 10 wallets in there with maxed wallets, then we've just got to work that interest back up. But as they're claiming every other day, because Alka Fortune does have a compound feature where you have to compound one day and withdraw the next. Otherwise, there's an 80% tax that stays into the contract. That's another thing I want to go over as well, is the tax. When we have tax, the tax stays in the contract. The development team get nothing of them taxes. The only part the development team get is the 8%, which is not all to the development team. 3% goes to marketing, which is now only about 1% because 5 BNB goes back into the syrup pools to earn more interest. 3 BNB go into bots, and we leave 3 BNB into the wallets, ready for marketing if we needed. But any tax stays in the contract; it doesn't come out at all. So that's a massive thing where you're not going to be thinking, wait a minute, the dev's getting majority of all these funds. And that's what we were never about. Cake of Fortune, Alka Fortune, the whole team never got a single penny. The Farmer Fortune is the first project we have done where the team has took a payment. And some stuff's going off at the moment, which we're talking behind the scenes on. But that's where we are. And that's why, remember, the marketing funds is not a massive amount. It's not marketing funds. The 3% is not a massive amount shared between 8 of us. So it's literally like 0.6 to 0.8, sometimes a BNB. It's not massive. It's not like you can quit your job tomorrow to do Farmer Fortune or the Fortune Hunters ecosystem. I'm not saying it won't be like that in 2 years' time down the road where we're continuing with the roadmap. The roadmap, as most of you are already aware, is on hold. It has to be on hold. I cannot do anything else on the roadmap until we get to the 200 days. I need complete control over this project. Now, not saying the team could bring out something else later on, but it can't be done by me. It's going to have to be another team member. But there is nothing in the pipeline as of we speak. So that's where we are. So that's why there's nothing continuing with the roadmap as now. We have to concentrate on Farmer Fortune. Alka Fortune, Cake Fortune, USDT cash flow gets the injections every Monday. So we are working on a full ecosystem to be a 0%. But even if we get Cake of Fortune and USDT cash flow as 0% in the next couple of days, we still can't say we're a full ecosystem as 0% until we are 200 days in. Yeah, we do like to be transparent, and those that know all of the team, if you go through all the team members within the admin group, and it'll say team behind them, everyone is known in the crypto space through the team, and we like to be transparent. You've got George that's done as much as he can with the stamp to make DeFi a better place, because even auditing companies was selling contracts that had backdoors in, and that's why George became George Stamp originally, but now because it's got a little bit bigger, he's now named it the Stamp. Because then it's not just pulling it down to one person, it's pulling it down to the whole team, which there is a few people behind the team now, and it's getting more and more popular. So yeah, that's why we do have a massive team. We've got Lucio that is literally in every single group you go into. You go into a group, you think you don't know anyone there, and Lucio will pop up and say hi. So yeah, you've got Darkside, Nelson, there's Brandon, there's myself, there's Zambacashflow. So there's massive amounts of the team that is well known in the whole DeFi space. So pretty much safe as safe can be. And if anything was going to go wrong, we would tell you. We would be honest about that. There is parameters which I've gone through in the AMAs before that can be changed, but at this precise time we can't change them because the testing that was done is done on the parameters. We can't risk a possibility of a drainage of the contract when we've worked so hard to get it to where it is now. Maybe in 200 days we could change parameters, but at this precise moment, no. We can't change anything on the contract, and nor do we want to change anything on the contract. Yeah, ALK is 0% Ponzi. BNB, with the way CZ is doing all these AMAs at the moment, I can see BNB taking over what Bitcoin was, where it was the dominance of the whole crypto space. I can see it having an upside down, but that's not financial advice. That's just my personal opinion. Yeah, hypothetical farmer fortune can continue forever for the time I'm building all these compound interests. If the TBL goes down substantially, would you take what's in the pools and keep the project alive? Yes. If we need to make an injection, we will make an injection. The longer we can keep, and this is Abraham, question. So if there is needed to be an injection into the contract, we will do. We will do in plenty of time so that the contract can't go to zero. The longer we don't need to do an injection into the contract is a lot better for not only us, for you as investors, because it means we can build more compound interest the longer we can leave it in the pools earning an interest. Cake fortune is still roughly around 65 to 69% reduced. Yeah, it was whale tested. So yeah, we do have whales, and there is 4 at this precise time whales in the group, and they are really nice whales. People have bad words to say about whales, and it's not about because the whales or how much money they've got. It's understanding them, because it's basically like putting 0.1 BNB in. They want to work and work it as a passive income, the right whales. And that's why we say, please join the AMAs, understand the project. You've got to understand it. These whales will work with the community. They don't just say, I'm taking everything out no matter what. I'm getting my 400% and I'm off. They don't. They work with you and they work with the community. But I will not out their names, whoever they are. A lot of you know me, especially David, for what happened with Hayes Crypto. And I did that massive investigation over them because I was trying to pull George down through the crops farm team. And that's where basically I started through YouTube, as well as George decided enough's enough. He's sick of the rugs. He's sick of bad auditing companies making the best because of their names, and that's why he brought the stamp out. And it was just to build a better DeFi space. There is still rugs out there. We can't protect every single person, but we will do our damnedest to try and change history in DeFi and make history of DeFi be a fun, safer place to be again, somewhere where you can earn a passive income. And those that don't know BUSD machine, it is the most sustainable machine ever going. There's been 2 before, and because there's been 2 before, people get the wrong idea about the BUSD machine. And that's simply because there was tests, there was found out where the faults was. BUSD machine version 3 is absolutely amazing. It's been Lucio, you're going to have to give me an idea how long it's actually been going, because it's been going a hell of a long time. And it's literally 20 cents a token. Nobody wants to sell because they're waiting for that token to go higher. But when they get to that highest point, they're not going to want to sell all at once, because you can earn a passive income. You can compound one day, then sell your tokens the next day, compound the next day, and sell your tokens the next day. It's all DeFi is, like I say, originally was made about passive income. Everybody's forgot about that because there's been projects that are giving 50% daily or 20% daily. And you see these big, massive dollar signs, and they're the ones where you're going to lose, because the devs invested first and the devs going to take all that money. Not saying they do, but that's what majority do happen. Cake of Fortune has been running for 8.5 months, and Elk of Fortune is just over 7 months. I'm not actually sure if Hayes is still around. Not heard nothing, never seen a project with their name on no more after I sent all them files over. So I'm not entirely sure with that. We're not going to give any info out about future roadmap. There was, if you type in roadmap, you'll see what was planned before. We are altering all that, but like I say, at this precise time, we've got to concentrate on what we've got at this minute. But when we bring some out in the future, you can guarantee it's going to be around the same ideas, where it's going to be earning funds through a back end and making sure that it's sustainability and making sure it can last like forever, basically. We do have a bot, cult bot, I think it's called, for people that invested in Cake of Fortune. And I'm sure somebody may be happy to share a screenshot of when they invested in Cake of Fortune from day one and how much they've earned up until now. Yeah, 2023 is going to be a good year, and this is part of leading up to that. Yeah, all miners, you can ROI a couple of minutes after launch, but that's when the variable interest starts to settle down. And as you can see now, let me just get Cake of Fortune up. You can now get 5.543 million miners for 50 cake. So that shows you how long it has been going and how much has actually been withdrawn and how much has been deposited, because every withdrawal, you know, the inflation happens on the miners. And that's why I say there's been another one brought out where they've basically made the miner as static and pulled down other miners because they should have done it. And they even mentioned Crops Farmer, and I'm not going to be mentioning names of who it is, and making a miner into a static miner, but also trying to make it into a 0% by earning an outside income will not happen, because you basically have to, if you're making it into 2% miner, you have to get that 2% back daily from day one. You have no time whatsoever to change that. So whereas if you've got that variable miners difference, so the miners value changes, and then eventually when you get it to 0%, that miner's value then starts increasing and decreasing, stabling out. You've got that time to build up that interest. So that's where you start seeing from 3%, you'll go down to 1%, and then it starts building back up. You're giving not only yourself time to earn a passive income, you're giving the project time to earn outside of the project. We was thinking of doing lotteries, but I'm dead against gambling. And you see, if you're going to there are people that will invest like $100, $200 into a lottery for a ticket. And yeah, thanks, George. Much welcome. Thank you for attending. But yeah, it's hard with gambling kind of stuff, because originally Fortune Hunters was going to build into a casino. And then after thinking about it, who wins within a casino? And it's the casino. We're not about that. We're not about making you lose money. We want to be able to make you gain money rather than lose it. And a casino always wins. That's why we chose against it. We was dead against it. We said no more, no casinos, no nothing like that. Then we decided that should we do a lottery? Community said, yeah, it'd be nice for a lottery, but I'd rather do giveaways where you don't have to buy into anything. You don't have to do anything. You just there answering a silly question. We do some really silly days where we have a fun day, and Nelson or Lucio or Chloe or Bruno will ask a stupid question. It could be anything in the whole world, and whoever answers might win 0.1 BNB. That's the way we do it. We like to make it a fun community rather than something so stressful and you've got to, well, wait a minute, I've got to get my phone out to look on Google to get this answer. You can answer anything. And if it's funny enough, and someone will turn around and say, right, I'm going to give you some BNB for that. Because like I say, we've got marketing that we thought we needed. And literally every single YouTuber has said, we don't want paying. You build something that's going to give us 400% back by you earning an outside income, and you proved it can work. We're going to do you a video. We want to promote you because people are going to see that we can get you. We're going to earn that 2% from referrals, and that's where they're actually being paid through the referrals rather than us paying them. So that's why it's a major help if when people do videos, please make sure you do watch them, because YouTube will only show it to other people if you watch the whole video. And then if you like and comment afterwards, subscribe, help them out, because we have got new YouTubers that have got literally like about 90 subscribers. Let's see if we can help them build up as well to 1K. It took me absolute ages. I had about 100 subscribers when I brought out Fortune Hunters, and that was when I started. And then I started building up and building up and building up. And because of Fortune Hunters, I have to be different in the way I do YouTube now. I have to be careful of what stuff I do promote. And I do tell people if it's a paid video now and stuff. And whereas before, we were just literally promoting anything and everything. As long as the code were good, I was promoting it. Now, I have to make sure the dev can do this, the dev can do that. I had one today, and it's only because I'm actually doing a little bit of an investigation and wanting to see proof of everything else. And I was approached today. I ain't going to promote it, but I'm just doing a bit of digging. So yeah. Yeah, 3.5 hours left for anyone that does want to invest, but please make sure, yeah, there's games. We might do games and stuff. Outside of the different farm. For myself, I've literally not even touched my own personal wallet for God knows how long. I lost one of my projects I was invested in because I forgot to do anything with compounding and claiming or anything, because I've been that mad at basically compounding. And if you go through all the images, you'll see I have 78 tabs open at all times, constantly watching to see if another pool has higher interest or if I can change it out of Pancake Spot, because that is really, really low APR. But Cake, I've got a good feeling about Cake in the next couple of months. And that's Cake BNB pool as well. So if BNB price pumps, Cake's going to pump as well. So we get more. We're going to actually still get that impermanent gains as well as the losses. Any other questions? Let me get the chat up just in case anyone does want to talk. You don't have to talk. You can type it out. But if you do want to talk, feel free. The automated USDT, we are talking behind the scenes. Yeah. We are talking behind the scenes with George, and we will get back to you very shortly. We need to give full updates rather than little bits. So let's just talk with the team first, because you've probably all seen the announcement in automated Telegram channel. But before we start saying this is going to happen or that's going to happen, we need to give you clarification. So please just give us a little bit of time. Let's get stuff sorted, and we will get back to you all on that. Whether it's in this channel or it's still in the USDT, because George is still able to type in there, because the devs made it look like it did a nasty thing by making it George the only admin in the group, which was very nasty. But yeah. Surely you'll need a holiday. I will go. Well, when this is over, when we get past this 200 days, we will plan a meet up with everyone, and because we're gonna get there, we are gonna get there, and we'll plan a meet up with everybody, and I'll literally buy everyone a drink. And a positive note. We don't think any differently. Even if you have negativity, we'd rather talk through with you. So please feel free. There is always FUD in every project, and FUD can be taken in different ways. To me, you're fearful, you're uncertain, and you're doubtful of a project. Now, that's where we like to do the AMAs. We like to talk to you. You like to get to know us, know exactly what you're getting into. That's real FUD. Some projects don't like it. Some projects will kick for it. We don't. We talk to you. We like a community that has that doubt, has that fear, because if you've got the fear, somebody else has got that fear. So it's whoever's got the bravest way of asking a question for somebody else to actually get that answer as well. So is there anyone who is able to take over from you if anything happens to you? Do you have a backup plan? Yes, we are in the means of sharing keys. So there'll be a few members that will have keys to all wallets. And it's pretty hard to go on holiday. I've got 6 kids at home. So... So that's basically just what's been said in that answer. We do have people with keys, and I will take my laptop literally everywhere with me. And as long as it's got Ethernet internet rather than Wi-Fi, I will not go on Wi-Fi for anything to do with crypto, and highly advise nobody to use Wi-Fi on crypto in a public place, anything. I showed someone, I work in a restaurant and I'm a chef, and somebody says, oh, can I have your Wi-Fi password? I've got to do my internet banking and all this. And I said, look, you shouldn't be doing that. And they said, well, why? It's safe. It's completely safe. Banks told me it's safe. So I then went into the router and I routed straight into her phone and showed her exactly what she was doing on her phone. She was absolutely shocked. I said, anybody could do that. So be careful of anything you do in a public place using public Wi-Fi. Anywhere in UK, you get if it's not tied down, it's gone. If it's not bolted down, you've lost it. Forget it. That's anywhere in UK. Yeah, where I work, I only went there for a favour 4.5 years ago as a 2-week favour, and no point in me just sitting at home doing nothing. So I ended up stopping there, and I've told him after Christmas that I will be basically giving it up because I need to be more concentrating on it, because the next part of the roadmap will need not just my whole attention, literally every single member's whole of attention, but I don't expect them to be giving up their jobs. So I will be taking the majority on, but they will be also working hard at it like you see me doing at this precise moment. They do that, and they do it in the chats. You've seen them. They go crackers at everything. But yeah, I wouldn't advise meeting in UK. It's cold, wet. Even in the summer, it's really winter. When it's winter, you sometimes get a summer. It's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Nearly. We've got 1 more minute yet, Zamba. Yeah, I like to, as many know, I'd rather you know the full story of the project rather than just a quick AMA, and you really still don't know exactly what's going off. And that's why I give the chances for everyone to ask a question. And as long as everyone's happy, then we'll end the AMA. I'll get back to having a look at trades. The whole team members can get back to doing what they're doing. Darkside does gifts and everything else. Zamba's doing his videos. So yeah. But understand, Zamba's on a live YouTube video, so he's got to hope somebody watches it for an hour later on. Yeah, so I will end the AMA then, seeing as though it doesn't look like there's any questions. But yeah. Yeah, remember there is an AMA Monday. Please pin that dark side so we can keep that and put it in the announcements as well. So thanks everyone, and I will see you on the next AMA or the next video, whichever I do first. As you noticed, my videos have dropped down because, like I say, I'm really busy with everything else. So thanks everyone for joining. Take care, and please, if you do have any more questions after this, please feel free to tag me in chat and just ask away in chat. It's better to ask in chat so everyone else can hear and everyone else can get them answers rather than it going to DMs. So thanks everyone. Take care everyone. Stay safe. Crypto is horrible. DeFi especially is horrible, but we'll try and help you as best as we can. Take care everyone. Oh, 1 minute. I haven't finished. 1 minute. I forgot. I haven't done the screen share of Grizzly. So let me just get the chat thing up there and let me screen share. And screen share that. When it does it, come on. Oh yeah, I gotta click on it first. Right. So here's Grizzly at the moment. We are $231,730. I do have some investments that's happened while we was on the AMA. So we go for investing that into there. I'm going to say I do have that. Yep, and that's why it's good to keep the update chart. So type update to keep it going. And now my kids are coming upstairs, so I'm doing the AMA. And you'll see that should be $232,539.50. We do have to change in 7 days into a different pool because that will drop like literally to half. But yeah, that's just the Grizzly Finance. So we're earning 25,000 basically every month, but every single day that will increase 3 times a day as I compound 3 times a day. So that will literally probably be about 26,000 by tomorrow. And that's where we are at the moment. So like I say, we will show stuff. Normally we do this bit on a Sunday, so we do it once a week. But yeah, suicide companion. So yeah, that's where we are. That's where we're going, and we'll keep it going. So thanks everyone. Let me just end this AMA. Thanks everyone for joining. I will see you next time. Take care.